How do you overcome challenges? How do you overcome hard times? It's a really good question. It's a really tough thing to sometimes look at a challenge or an obstacle and to think, okay, how am I going to get out of this? How am I going to overcome this situation? And it does take a lot of sort of internal dialogue and introspection to figure out what you're going to do and what are the steps. My simple formula that I like to think of with any challenge or obstacle is to put it into its component parts and focus on only what I can control. So first thing is I will center myself. I'll get myself grounded. So if I've got a challenging meeting or some sort of challenge or obstacles come up that I wasn't aware of, let's say anything, or let's say if I'm in a race or something and something comes up, I need to recenter myself. So how I'll do that is I'll focus on my breathing, I'll bring myself, calming my thoughts. I've talked as well before about box breathing. So doing the box breathing, I will do that. Even in a race situation, I will do box breathing. If I'm in a business situation, box breathing, I get myself centered, I get myself grounded. Then focus on what I can control. And I will then break that down into component parts as to, okay, what can I do? And then what am I going to do next? I will focus on one thing, just one thing at a time before I progress on to the next bit. So I will write myself out a timeline and then I'll progress one step at a time and just do one thing. That's such a powerful way for overcoming obstacles. There's no point in trying to over-engineer or overthink things because you can just get lost in the detail and you just end up overthinking all this sort of stuff and you never get anything done and you don't move forward. And you then feel trapped by this obstacle and by the challenge. Now, obviously if I'm out racing, I can't stop and write things down. I'm having to do this in my head and do this on the move. So loads of times I've had things where I've missed like a water stop or started to get like a cramp or a stitch or whatever it might be, or I'm falling behind on the pace and I need to pick that up. I have to then reset, refocus. So remember that, reset, refocus, focus on one thing at a time to help you push through.